I I try to hold what I promised to talk about, and it was, I maybe forget sometimes what I have said, but I try to hold what I have told you that I should talk about in another episode. And sometimes I have to record it very quick before it leave me that I don't remember it. But I remember that I has said that I should talk about Jesus if he was from David's house, and that it is not a quick answer, and it's not the theology, those book reading, those that men that think they know everything, they have hard to talk about it, to know, and especially Jewish people don't like that idea that Jesus come from David's house. And how is it? It's much about your own decision, what you think about it. And of course, if you are a Christian person and believe in Jesus, and I hope not as a God, but you believe that Jesus is the Messiah, and then you should you take it as you want it to be, the truth for you to be, and I can't do anything about it. And is it a matter if Jesus come from David's house? It's is this that people Messiah is in the future, and people want to know the future the whole time. They think they can have the whole story to be truth, and the Bible is only talking about Messiah, and it says in the Torah also, Messiah. Who is that? And I know that Jesus existed because he have coming through here, and so I know that, and I have seen him in heaven also, and so his parents is clearly for me that they have exist. I had that question for before I knew God, and before I come to know really about God and heaven, and but now I am very sure that he existed. And then when I did my DNA, that God told me to do my DNA when I was in Jerusalem 2016, and when I have done my DNA, my lineage back from my mother back to Israel, and I go step by step back, and I am coming to Mary, not Joseph, it's Mary that is in my lineage. But that, of course, Joseph is also as he married Mary. And It's not really 100% sure about it, but it looked like Mary was from Jonathan, her father, and Jonathan was from Solomon lineage, and that was Aaron, Levite tribe, and not tribe, but a family, and they belong to David's house. So Mary is more complicated than Joseph. That it's, of course, because he was a man, that his lineage is written about in the Bible, and the women is not so much about the women in the Bible. There is some few women that is talking about, really talking. Most of the women that is named in the Bible, they don't have a really story around it. It's only that they are married to a man that was important in the Bible to tell about. But their story, it doesn't say anything about their story. I'm sorry I get hiccups sometimes because I have just eaten breakfast. This is Sunday in the last of May 2022, and I live in Sweden. And so both Joseph and Mary was from David's house, but Mary's lineage was a little deeper to come to know. And I leave it Aaron Levite, Aaronic Levite, it was a priesthood. So in that way is it more, and that is maybe a clue why God gave a child to Mary to carry in her womb. That is because she was from the priesthood lineage, and Joseph was from the King David. It was not a special priesthood lineage on him, so he was more like the world, political system and these things, and Mary was those priests that tried to know more about God and come closer to God. So that is very special to understand this, that Mary was more noble than Joseph in the spirit way, and she was about 16 years of age when she got pregnant, and that was not special young. It's about how when the body can be pregnant is it about, but the age of Mary was not so young, because like my mother that was born 1910, in her generation, they ended their school, the children, and when they were 12 years old, and then they go out and working. And maybe it was about that time also, when in Jesus' time, Mary's time, that she was look like she was an adult person. It's not in how we see it, and God should never have placed a child in her if she was a child. It should be very cruel to do it. So that was not in God's plan to do it. But when she was 16, she was looked like an adult person. And so it's Jesus come from David's house, and he was grafted into Joseph lineage, but still he was from David's house, from his mother, but not so close to David's house on his mother's side, but close to David's house to be grafted into Joseph, that Joseph adopted Jesus. So still he was born into David's house. But if he is the Messiah, that is something that we can't know for sure that he is. And it's what you should take grafted like a keyword to study, to grafted, what it means in the Bible. And it doesn't matter when someone is grafted into a family, that someone is adopted into a family. That doesn't say that this person can't be. If we say that a person is adopted to a family that is try to come closer to God, and that adopted could never be in that way that he or she is want to come closer to God. It have nothing with where you are coming from. It's a spirit here now that is talking to you, that feel like you don't belong to that family that you have been adopted into. It's the same thing with the mindset again. It's everything about the mindset and your heart. That it's that we are all by ourselves. It's God have a plan for us, for one of us, and that it have nothing to do with the family that you are adopted to, because you have your own plan. You have not the family plan. You have your own plan in God. And so it doesn't matter what you like about the family you are adopted into. It's how you see your life, how it's the mind set, how you see your life, that's the mindset, and how much you want to solve your problems with that family you are adopted to, or if you are by yourself and you have been kicked out from your family, it's about the heart. How much do you want to come in balance into your life, and it doesn't matter what's going on around you. It's about God's plan for you and not for your family. It's not for you. God's plan is not for you and your friends. God's plan is for you only. Each of us have a plan that God have placed for us to walk in. So it have nothing to do what's around you. You are one, and you are on your way back to God. That is your goal. Your goal is not to look around and think that, oh, I wish I was her, I wish I was he, I wish I had those money, I wish I had that girlfriend or boyfriend. It's not about that. It's about you. And in that way, in God's plan, you walk alone. And you can have lots of people around you, but you have to stay focused on God's plan for your life. Because if you try to come closer to God, and that is in God's plan for you to be one with Him, and that you can be that. You don't need to come up to heaven to be close to God. It's when you're here on earth that you can come close to God and see what's going on with me. I have God coming here and talking, and I am still here on earth. So I don't need to be in heaven for God to come and talk. So that's the plan God have for you on earth. The plan is not up in heaven. Then it have ended, that plan. You have fulfilled or not fulfilled God's plan for your life. So that it's God's plan is for earth, and not that you get it in heaven. You get it here on earth. And the Spirit is that is here. It's a man that is here. And I think it's Jesus that have come in here, because I was talking about Jesus in the beginning, and He do something now for you, because in this talking to you, Jesus have opened doors for you to understand that it's not something to get far away. God's plan is here and now, today, and you should act on it. What you feel, that you should not act as you are not so close to God yet. yet, I say. You should ask God Elohim, to protect you. And what you feel in your heart and have been placed into your mind, what's placed in your mind and your heart, that it is coming from God. So you have to talk to God about it, that God clean up your heart and brain if it's not from Him. That you have to pray to God. And I will not pray for you, because that's up to you to come closer to God and have a relationship with God. I never pray for any person. I can pray for a whole country or many people in once, but I never pray to one person about. I don't pray for one person to God, because I say that the whole time to people when they ask. It's many that ask me to pray for them. I say that is not me to have I have the relationship with God. So I don't need to pray for you, because you need to work on your relationship with God. So you can't have me as like a bridge between God and you. You have to build. Oh, He is on me so much, Jesus, now. He said that it's on you to build the relationship with God, not no one else. That what He's coming through and tell you about, and you should start today, if you haven't started, to talk to God, from you to God, and no one between there. That you should start today, because Jesus is here, and He say that God is ready to hear from you. He waiting for you. It's not only that we have to wait for God, that God wait for us also to act. So I see a hand now, and that is like waving hand. It's a hand that means to act, and I tell you that you need to act today. As soon as you have stopped listening at this episode, you should go down on your knees and pray to God Elohim, or what name you have for God. God knows your heart, so He knows that you're talking to Him. And so that's, yeah, now I say Jesus is walking away, and I walk away also from you, because that's the message for today. So that the keyword was to look at in the Bible, or in the Torah, in the book you have. To see what grafted means, to understand it. That it can come from It can come from a bush that is on its way to die, but there is a branch that look like it's still alive, and they cut off. God cut off that branch and place it into a bush or tree that is healthy, and place it in there, and the branch that was on its way to die but was still alive, that start to grow and bring fruit on that branch that should have been killed and dead, of what from where it come from. That branch was on a tree that was not good, so God cut off that branch and placed it to a healthy tree for it to survive. And that can be for you. That was grafted in means. So thank you for listening, and we love you and we care for you and want you to be strong, to not go walking in the devil's plan for your life, but to walk in God's plan for your life, to choose the right way, to choose the right plan. You have two plans in your life just now, and you should choose the plan God have for you and not go downhill with the devil's plan for your life. That is a rotten branch. That is a rotten tree that you are walking in, and you are there to come to be a rotten branch and be killed. Instead, you want to graft it into a healthy tree, and the healthy tree is God's plan for you. That is the healthy tree. So thank you for listening. I hope you understand what I'm talking about. It's not about your background, it's about your future. You can have been whatever in your past, but that is a stop now, because the future, that is God holding in his hand your future, and he knows your future, but it's you to decide, if because you have a free will, so it's up on you to choose if you want to go in God's plan or in the devil's plan. It's up to you. Everything is about your decision and how you act on things, and your mindset and your heart.